Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is July 25th, 2025, and here are the top cryptocurrency news stories. Let's start today's episode with our spot Bitcoin ETFs, which have seen their third consecutive day of outflows. On the 23rd, BlackRock had net inflows of $142 million, but couldn't outpace the others, resulting in the day closing with $85 million in outflows. On the 24th, we're already at $194 million in net inflows. However, beyond those 3 days of outflows, overall, institutions are continuing to buy Bitcoin like there's no tomorrow. Now, institutions, corporations, etc. own 10% of the existing Bitcoin supply, as demand has exceeded 10 times what miners can mine as we speak. Let's move on to our Ethereum ETFs, where, as we said, the party never stops. On the 23rd of the month, we closed with a positive net inflow of $332 million. 99% of the money came from BlackRock. And on the 24th of the month, we're at $231 million. Now let's talk about our Ethereum ETFs, which have achieved something unique and managed to become the third fastest growing ETF to reach $10 billion. Specifically, BlackRock's ETF has achieved this. Let's say that ETFs have a 32-year history, and BlackRock's spot Ethereum ETF took only 251 days to reach $10 billion in market cap. What is the first and second? Obviously, the first is BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF, which took 34 days to reach this milestone, and the second is Fidelity's spot Bitcoin ETF, which took 53 days. Now, speaking of Ethereum, to get an idea of how much institutions want it right now, let's say Ethereum had a market cap of $5 billion, and within 10 days, it managed to raise another $5 billion and break that record. So certainly in the last few days, as we can see from Crypto News, institutions have been buying a lot of Ethereum. To wrap up on Ethereum ETFs, let's say they've been around for a year now. A year ago, they first launched, and so far they've been breaking records, especially at this time of year. And to get to these Ethereum institutions, we turn to Bitmine, which we have seen in previous episodes, and which is now the largest Ethereum fund, as it holds $2.1 billion worth of Ethereum, or 566,776 ETFs. Let's also say that, as we know again from previous episodes, the goal of this company is to acquire 5% of the total supply of Ethereum, and as the company's representatives say, they are very well on their way to achieving this. Moving on to the latest news on Ethereum itself. As the article says here, Ethereum is stumbling, as the Ethereum exit queue has grown to 18 months. Again, 2 days ago in the news Crypto News, I had reported that those who want to take their Ethereum out of staking had reached a 9-day queue, while those who want to stake had reached a 6-day queue. Now, those who want to withdraw their Ethereum from the network face an 11-day, 21-hour queue, while those who want to stake face a 5-day, 8-hour queue. So again, more and more people want to withdraw their Ethereum from staking, which usually means that some people want to sell. Moving on, we move on to those who are buying Bitcoin, and specifically a Japanese company in the artificial intelligence sector called Quantum Solution. It is an artificial intelligence company which told us that it will create a treasury for Bitcoin and wants to raise 3,000 BTC within 12 months. We wish them good luck in achieving that goal. The last company for today is Strategy, which we know from Crypto News that it wants to create a new product. This product is called Stretch. Initially, we knew that they wanted to raise $500 million. Now they have changed it and said, why $500 million? And the amount was increased to $2 billion so that all of that money could go into Bitcoin. Moving on to our currencies, we will go to Solana, which made an upgrade that increased the capacity in its block by 20%, and there are additional proposals to increase this limit a little more. As you know, every block in the blockchain has block in it, and Solana increased the limit of these block by 20%, resulting in being able to make more transactions per second, with lower gas fees essentially. One of the downsides of such upgrades is that it becomes even harder for the network to store these transactions in its memory, essentially, as there are 20% more. Additionally, there can be issues with failed transactions, and since I mentioned that, one upgrade that Crypto News would like to see Solana make is to improve the way it processes transactions. As we see here in Solana, successful versus failed transactions, Solana does about 30% to 25% failed transactions, essentially. So when Solana manages to improve this rate and have 100% successful transactions, it's like saying that Solana has become 30% to 25% faster. Just like that. Moving from Solana to XRP, we see that right now the price of XRP is at $3.06 and has dropped less than 15% on the 7-day chart. 2 days ago, I told you crypto news at the all-time high of XRP, that the founder of XRP had moved about $26 million to exchanges, most likely to sell it. Let's just say that that number I told you back then is not the exact one, and Mr. Zach is here to give us the exact number. Blockchain researcher Mr. Zach published a series of XRP transactions by Mr. Chris, who has actually made $175 million worth of transactions across 4 addresses since July 17th. More than $140 million of that cryptocurrency has reached exchanges, as the researcher reported, and I'll have what he wrote below in the description for you to see. So again, the crypto news had told you at the all-time high that the founder of XRP was moving cryptocurrency to exchanges. We just didn't know the real number, and it's time to look at something Elon said as he once again blew up a meme coin, this time without meaning to. Elon said that the video app Vine, which is owned by X, will be back with a dose of artificial intelligence, and the Vinecoin, which is a meme coin launched by the founder of the app earlier this year, has seen a huge surge. This is Elon Musk's tweet, and this is the meme coin made by Pam Fan, which was praised. Obviously, there is no official statement that this meme coin will be used anywhere, on X, on Vine, or anywhere. And it's time to go to our favorite cryptocurrency market, with Bitcoin sitting at $115,000, with the price very close to breaking our support, and we might see a correction now that I think about it. That wraps up the top news for crypto today. Is July 25th, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care everyone, and have a good day.